Welcome back to KMI Community Connect viewers again. I'm going to be talking once again to recall our previous discussion about fructose and thereby uric acid. So this is one of the key important driving forces that plays a big role in metabolic dysfunction, and how this is a very important tool in our so-called metabolic toolkit that I call it as. So let's talk about fructose to make it. Today you're going to be hearing about a few terms that you're either familiar or unfamiliar. I will try to make it very easy for you. So fructose is the other kind of sugar that we talked about, like glucose, but it acts completely differently in a different molecule. Fructose will lead to uric acid, which is another metabolite that I talked about in my last talk in introduction, which you are also going to be hearing from me a lot, uric acid. And uric acid is going to become and relate itself in various pathways to what is called as an important organelle in our body called mitochondria. That is the powerhouse of the cell that makes energy. So I can say energy and how it influences mitochondria in terms of energy making or decreasing energy. I will come to those details later in my next topics. So we call energy as ATP or ADP or AMP. Don't worry about these words. This is like cash. A smaller cache, a slightly more cache, and a bigger cache. So coming back to uric acid, which I was going to talk last time, I said I'm going to be pressing more on uric acid. One of the key important things that mostly underspoken or overlooked or not talked about in general circles, though it is a well-known fact with emerging research that there's a lot of importance to uric acid that we have to pay attention to, and how we have to start monitoring it and paying attention to, because this is one of the key metabolites that plays a big role. So how is it connected to high glucose? How is it connected to high blood pressure? How is it connected to creating fat or making fat or storing fat? And what are the signaling pathways, or what are the pathways or uric acid influences various organs, and how uric acid is again connected to salt, and how salt in turn is connected to high glucose, how salt is in turn connected to high blood pressure, which probably a lot of you already know, and how salt is again connected to fat. And also at the same time, what are the other substances, not substances, like foods. Most of the people think that it's a food for many people, though it is not, and how something like alcohol is connected to uric acid, and how in turn all that is connected to glucose, high blood pressure, storing fat. Again, one more important aspect is the environment and the evolution and environment. How is evolution over a period of thousands of years, and how evolution in turn with changing environment together with a present day environment of mismatch instead of matching, by changing our genes over a period of time, 70,000 or 100,000 years, or a period of lots of many years, has caused changes in what is called as an effect of starvation, and also with the primitive evolutionary trends that we had in terms of predation. These two, starvation and predation, has influenced the genes in the evolution and the changing environment, how all this affects uric acid through fructose. So these are all the connections that are very intriguing, very, very thoughtful, very important for us to understand why all these things are happening when we start measuring only fat separately, blood pressure separately, glucose separately, how all these are interconnected and how they act is very important for us to know. And this is just about understanding the basic principles and what we can do, how we can change the signaling pathways by doing certain things. If you understand this, how every body is different and what are the various things that we should try to avoid. Simple things like dehydration, which can influence all this. Sorry, this pen is not working. I'll write with a, which can influence all these parameters, various signals that you do, adequate hydration. So how all this works together, we're going to be talking in small bits and pieces over a period of time in all our next topics of Metabolism Made Easy. I want here at Metabolic Medical Institute or at KMI Community Connect, we are our goal is to get all this information for you at zero cost for you. All that you need to invest is having some inclination. We are going to invest the time for you. Please look forward for the next interesting topic, where I'm going to be talking about a little bit of the chemistry without much detail for all those of you who we don't want to get confused but still make sense about how fructose, how it becomes energy in our next topic. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you soon.